reason why men date younger women is not because of their physical appearance, their bodies. No, because today with plastic surgery and everything else, you barely know who is 40 and who is 18. Guys date younger women because they're easily manipulated. They're gonna be very happy with a few crumbs because maybe they didn't experience much in the world. They're gonna be just easily impressed. And it's way cheaper to date a younger girl.
Greetings and salutations, my brothers. Welcome to the ministry. On today's episode, we are exploring the absurd amount of cope that modern ladies feed themselves after they age out of the dating market. These are women who once had everything they needed to find a suitable man and settle down. But for whatever reason, be it divorce, high expectations, or a young adulthood that focused on hedonism, they wantonly threw out their chances for a lifetime's worth of contentment. And then they find themselves old, tired, and undesirable. Yet they still have zero idea why they are alone and why men do not want them, even though they've been told countless times the reason. But, as we all know, her powers of denial will always overpower their obligation to know the truth. But before we begin, if you haven't already, we kindly invite you to subscribe to the Ministry of Masculinity. For too long, men have been forced to remain silent. Be it for cultural, political, or professional reasons, society has turned its back on men. And men have become fed up and are walking away. It's not just for romantic reasons. Men have been demonized to the point where if he does anything, he's considered out of line. So, instead of acquiescing to this absurd and insulting notion, men all over the world are using this opportunity to become stronger, better versions of themselves. Men aren't willing to take it anymore, so let's help to get the word out so we can help as many men to build themselves up. Now, on to today's video.
I find it so amusing that I'm starting to get more men in my comments that are upset about the advice that I'm giving younger women. Why? Because you want to manipulate them? You want to be able to mold them the way you want them to be? You don't want them to speak up or realize that they have all this effing power over you? Too bad. Some of you comment about my nose ring and say, oh, she's full of drama. What does a nose ring have to do with anything? You are being so bothered by the fact that a lot of us older women are sharing their life wisdom, life experiences, and giving advice to women that we wish we would have been told when we were younger. And I want to share more and more of that, and I don't care if it bothers you. Because you know what? Some of your girlfriends are going to wake up and be like, oh shit, they shouldn't be treating me this way. They're giving me the bare minimum. I don't need a man right now. So too bad, that's your problem. You need to reflect on yourself and realize what are you doing wrong. You need to treat women better. They just want to be treated with respect. They just want to be acknowledged. They want empathy and someone that's emotionally intelligent, which a lot of you are not. So if it really starts bothering you and leave me all of these comments on my page now, I'm just going to block you because I don't have time for that.
The last bastion for the single woman in her 50s will forever be her social media echo chamber. It's a hive-minded collective of thoughtless hags who will blindly support each other with tired slogans and heartless words of encouragement. But even though these interactions are shallow and devoid of any real substance, these women will cling onto it like a life jacket on a sinking ship. What choice do they have? They aren't getting their validation from anywhere else. And just because a woman ages herself out of the dating market doesn't mean that she doesn't constantly desire attention and reassurances that her obvious excuses to avoid accountability are totally justified. Which just goes to show, just because a modern woman gets older, it doesn't mean that she gets wiser. She's still a child and stuck in an old woman's body.
Why low-quality 40-years-old men tend to go for younger women. And it's not because the 40-years-olds are really old and we look so horrible and we have lots of baggage. That's not true anymore. There is tons of 40 years olds that look really good nowadays because it's easy to look good nowadays. There is tons of 40 years olds that have good jobs, they have their goals and dreams and zero baggage whatsoever. However, you cannot play and manipulate a 40 years old the way you can a 20 years old because the 40 years old has life experience. She can see through your BS. She can see through your red flags. Therefore, it's so much easier to get at 20 years old. And simply, these guys have no choice anymore because you're not good for a 40 years old woman.
As these women get older, they demand answers to why men are ignoring them, even though men have made it obvious. Unless under very specific circumstances, which don't normally apply to these women, men are uninterested in these women. And the answers couldn't be more simple. Men don't want to deal with the hassle. Let's say that a woman decides to get a divorce at the ripe age of 55 and tries to re-enter the dating market. That is a massive red flag for men. It shows that she's selfish, impulsive, easily led, and set in her ways. She's looking for emotional hits of dopamine and not willing to settle for less. She wants the epic romance she saw in the movies when the time for that was in her youth. Yet, she expects a man to provide her with all of these things. The problem is that she's run out of time.
Comes in waves. Most of the time, I'm okay. And then it comes and hits me like nobody's business. And honestly, I've been feeling like this a lot lately. It's love. I'm tired. I'm tired of doing it myself. I'm tired of being alone. I want to share my life with someone. I am just freaking tired. It's not about being lonely, so I just want somebody. No, I want to be in love. I want to share my life with someone. I want to feel the joys. I want to have my hands held. I want to be held. I want to kiss. I want to support. I want to make coffee with that person. I want my person. I want my person. Why is it so hard to find your person? I'm tired. You know, it's really hard when love is the one thing you can't force, you can't make it happen. It has to just show up, but where is it? Where is it? I'm so ready, and I have a beautiful life waiting for the perfect man to show up. But where is he? You know, I'm 53. And I just can't believe that I'm sitting here, and it has been several years. I think it was over a year that I had a date, and then it's been several years since then. Where are all the good men that are ready and want to build a beautiful life together?
These women have no excuse for why they are still single. It's no mystery, and she has no one to blame but herself. Women have everything they need to find a man when she's younger, and she has no shortage of men who would make a good pairing. But these women think that those men aren't good enough for her. So they spend their youth insulting these men by saying that she's not willing to settle for them. Then she turns around, when she no longer has much value, and expects the men she spent years insulting to turn around and give her a chance. And when she doesn't get what she wants, she resorts to pathetic attempts of self-pity and begging. Neither one will work on self-respecting men. Most of these good men have checked out and walked away to find their own peace. And if they want something serious, they are not going to settle for an old woman who's set in her ways. And that's going to do it for today's video, my brothers. If you found yourself enjoying this content, then we hope we have earned your subscription to the Ministry of Masculinity. Be sure to like this video and share with as many of our fellow brothers as you can as well. Thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next episode of the Ministry of Masculinity.